help. So let's go to the next slide, my brother. And hear what the prophet says. Slide number 3, brother. The next slide. Oh, okay. The next slide after that one. Want to hear what the prophet said? Not before that one. Yes. In the spoken word fellowship. Fellowship. In Prophet 1956, the February the 12th. February the 12th. The prophet says, now since he broke that fellowship, man has been tossed about from every wind of doctrine, and he's still being tossed out. He was turned out of the Garden of Eden. Amen? Amen. To shift for himself. And then that great time he's still tossing about. So God made one preparation for men to be restored back to that fellowship. Oh, nothing else. They have tried. He offered to human race. Blood was the way back to fellowship. God killed some animals and took their skins, shed the innocent blood of animal, and brought the skin and raped Adam and Eve. And fellowship with them again after the shedding of the blood. So many a time when we fail, we try to make our own means of saving ourselves. So Adam and Eve, when they sinned in the Garden of Eden, they saw some leaves to cover themselves, not forgetting that the leaf would dry and they will break. But God, through His grace and mercy, He knew that it needed blood for you and me to be restored. So God has to kill an animal. So the animal has to die, the blood has to be shed. So that me and you will be restored back to the Lord. So after we fail, we always want to find ourselves our man-made solution. But as the prophet is saying, when fellowship was lost, the only way to return to fellowship was for the blood to be shed. So in our situation now, the blood has been shed. Not the blood of animals was not good enough. That's why whenever the people in the old, whenever they sin, God allowed a permissive will to the blood of goats and bulls. But now the perfect sacrifice has been done. So the prophet is saying, God killed some animals and took their skins, shed the innocent blood of animals, and brought the skin and raped Adam and Eve, and fellowship with them again after the shed of the blood. So every Christian, our redemption is in the blood. We are redeemed already. We need to go back. It's not on the slide, brother. Revelation chapter 5. Chapter 5. We saw how John wept
tikuona vikazi John wakati Daudi
when no one was able to open the seals,
apakaweje walioso wakaendelea wakatende masimu
and see the redemptive blessings in his words.
Oropanyaki kubekamopera mbuku ili.
So he cried, but let's read from verse 3.
Verse 3.
Revelation chapter 5. Amen.
Chunguzi 5. Amen.
Let's read from verse 3.
Verse 3.
So my brother, my sister, God restores. Whatever situation we might be, God has a redemption plan for you and me. Amen.
Amen.
Let's start from verse 3. He said, no man in heaven or in earth was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. Let's go down through. Next. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to read a book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders said that weep not, behold the Lion has prevailed to open the book, and to loosen to the seals thereof. Well, that was our redemption. Move to verse. Okay, let's move to verse 9.
Verse 9, 9.
Amen.
Amen.
And they sing a song saying, thou art worthy to take the book and open the seal. The opening of the seals brought us redemption power. Thou wast slain and redeemed us to God. By the blood of every kindred, tongue, and the people and the nation. Go down, bro. And has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. So when I'm looking at the church, I'm not looking at defeated people. I'm not looking at sick people. I'm looking at the kings and priests. But our current situation must not define us. We must look at where we come from and where we are going. Because we just bypass the orphanage in our situation that we are now. But our real position is to be kings and priests. Because it's not what we have done, but it's what he did. So you don't choose to be a Christian. He chose us to be his people. And God entrusts us with conditions. He wouldn't have given you what you are going through now if you knew that you won't overcome. So God entrusted you with any condition that you are in. Let me remind you, let's read 1 Corinthians chapter 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, let's read from verse 18.
10, verse 18.
So my brother, my sister, God wants to restore you. As much as He's restoring His church, the world now was in a mess. And God has to restore and bring us together. As we read from the book of Joel, how the worms and the insects had eaten the bright tree, the condition was bad. To us as well, God wants to restore his children.
Kwa ise kuna chudo kukwezeka
And
boso na wale.
remind them that you are not of this world.
Na kuti hadas kuti sema saru chichara.
We came from God
Mabachuta
and we go back to God.
kwenda boso kwa chuta.
Verse 10:13.
10:13 na kwa hiki kwamba
There is no temptation taken you, but such is common to men.
alizo Yesu boso katika kwa ini kuna kwa
But God is faithful,
kwenye chudo kwa kuwezeka.
who will not suffer you to be tempted
Hiyo hasa mpasa mkuni yeseke.
above what you are able.
Acha kwa kitu kwa pasa mkatongea.
Whatever situation you are in,
Ka sichose shikimwe mlimi katunga
being
sote.
sickness,
Ayake mga kukwara,
being financial challenge,
ayake mga kuswandarama,
being failure in your activities,
ayake mga tondea kuchito binu,
God knows that is nothing to you.
simundo kumaya kuti sichose
So
chikamunga.
he's saying, who will not suffer you to be tempted above what you are able.
Nikakusudia kuti mnirole kumtondeke chapa cha mjara.
But we, with the temptation, also make a way of escape,
Kweneso kisudo, pangika kuti mtoa iyo sisitiki.
that you may be able to be.
Kuti imwe ya kwendelea kuti
So
mchikozi.
any temptation, brother,
So
sister,
chiyezo sichose mpale mtumbu,
God knows that the brother overcomes.
chiume kumaya kuti mpaliwa
It will
mkona.
be painful. There is no temptation which is easy.
Chingachi pangisa kubinya kwenye sipaile chiyezo, sichose checho chiwili.
But every temptation is to
Kwenye chiyezo, sichose kunapula chiheni.
At one time there was a man, this verse also touched me very well. The next slide, I think it's slide 4, brother Tyson. There is one man where God said was perfect. That Job 1 verse 1.
You're the one, this one.
The next slide, brother Tyson. The man that was so close to my heart was Job. Verse 1 he says, there was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was perfect. Imagine me and you were not perfect. We have a lot of witness that we confess everything. But what created heaven and earth said this man was perfect. And upright. And one that feared God. And eschewed evil. But imagine such a perfect scenario.